Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this week I wanted to make a prehistoric type matchup featuring Peter Jackson's King Kong versus the main T-Rex herself, REXY, from the Jurassic Park franchise. At first glance, this would seem like a stomp in King Kong's favor, seeing as how in his movie he was able to take down 3 T-Rex-like creatures. REXY is only one T-Rex, so how could she take down Kong or even give him a challenge? Well, if we power scale both creatures and completely analyze the feats of both characters, I think the winner of this matchup may surprise you. But before I scale anything, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. Each of my power scaling videos has been doing really well in the algorithm, so let's do our best to continue that trend. So if you want to see more power scaling stuff in the future, you guys know what to do. Alright, starting with King Kong, he has a large quantity of statements that he was the apex predator and was the king of his world, meaning that he would upscale any individual creature on Skull Island. But we can take this level of scaling even further, as there's one statement that says that he was the mightiest creature to ever walk the earth. So off of the bat, he would scale up to wall level very casually, as there's an abundant amount of animals in this real world that are around wall level, such as tigers, bears, stuff of the sort. The scaling chain is pretty consistent, as in the movie he has showings such as showing the ability to punch holes through a building. He's able to damage the exterior of a decent amount of buildings during his rampage in New York City. And on Skull Island, he was able to flip over a small house made of rocks. All of these feats would put King Kong in the small building level in terms of AP, which is consistent as he would upscale stuff that is wall level pretty casually. But we can take King Kong's scaling a step further, as we can use the mightiest creature on the planet Earth's history to upscale him from blue whales, which have the kinetic energy to put them at around building level, meaning that Kong should be building level pretty casually. Though I think I should mention that he would be above blue whales by an unquantifiable amount, so to suggest that he's significantly above them would just kind of be headcanon. Kong capping at around building level was fair enough in my opinion, seeing as how all the small building level feats are casual King Kong feats. Moving on to his durability, which should directly scale to his attack potency. The nature of King Kong's speed is a somewhat underrated aspect of his character and overall scaling, as when I looked into it, he's a lot faster than I thought he would be. Obviously, off the bat, for lower ends, he'd be superhuman level speed. Superhuman speed is shown multiple times in the film, but the first notable instance of it would be King Kong's performance against the Visatosaurus Rexes. These animals have a confirmed running speed of around 25 miles per hour, and they use these speeds in short bursts to pursue and capture prey, meaning that it would scale to their attack speed and reaction time. Kong very blatantly scales to this level of speed, as in the film he's able to outmaneuver and react to a pack of these animals. Another better, more blatant showcase of Kong's speed is during his rampage in New York City, where Kong is shown to be able to keep up with a cab during that time period. Based on the model in the film, those type of cabs can drive up to 65 miles an hour. Assuming that the cab is going full speed, which there's no reason to assume that it is not, he's trying to get away from a massive ape, King Kong being shown to keep up with this level of speed, this would just be another instance of Kong showing superhuman-like speed. But subsonic is not out of the question, seeing as how he can react to 1930s planes. He is shown to dodge them, evade them, and even catch one in midair. These type of planes can fly at over 100 miles per hour. You could argue that Kong off of this would be subsonic, so they are higher ends to argue when talking about his speed. Seeing as how our combatants are more animalistic and are literally just animals, I think pushing and shoving is going to be a very crucial aspect to who wins this fight. So seeing as how we're already talking about Kong, let's start with him. In the previously mentioned Visatosaurus fight scene, he's able to toss around and even throw away these guys with a single hand. The weight for these guys has been calced at around 40 tons, so Kong can push off that weight and throw it up with a single hand pretty easily. In the exact same fight, he uses a boulder to crush one of the V-Rex's skulls in. The weight for this boulder has been calculated to weighing around 20 plus tons. And moving back to the feat where he's able to knock over a stone/rock house, this exact rock house in question has been calculated to weighing around 13 tons. All of these showcases of lifting strength/pushing strength would put Kong in the class 25 category in terms of lifting strength, which means he can push around and carry stuff ranging from 25 tons to 50 tons. But seeing as how easily he was able to dispatch of the V-Rexes and knock them over with a single hand/pick them up with a single hand, I think class 100 is arguable as well. Essentially meaning that at a max, Kong should be able to toss around weight that is around 50 tons. When talking about King Kong versus a T-Rex, I think it's important to talk about King Kong's own performance against the Visasaurus Rexes of Skull Island, as there's a lot of context to make the feat a lot more impressive than you think. In Peter Jackson's King Kong, Kong is the last survivor of his species. In the guidebook for the movie, we actually get an in-universe explanation as to why there's no Kongs left, with 3 main reasons being sickness, injury, and yes, V-Rexes. So with this point of reference and context, we can conclude that the average Kong is relative to the average Visasaurus Rex. This is further supported in the same guidebook where it says that Kong and V-Rex scuffles would be really short for the most part, as both parties didn't want to seriously injure themselves. The guidebook even says that when the Kong saw that their situation was unfavorable, they would just walk away. With this context, it makes Kong's feat against a pack of all 3 of them while holding Ann a lot more impressive, as he's in an unfavorable situation as he's getting jumped, and he can't even use his entire body as he's using one hand to hold Ann. Despite this, he's able to whittle down the numbers one by one. And then when it's a 1v1, we see that Kong easily dispatches of the Alpha V-Rex, meaning that even in the Kong family, Kong was a powerhouse, and just that much stronger than the average of his own kind. Alright, I'm confident to say that Kong's durability should scale to his AP, putting him at around building level. And he has a number of durability feats that would make it reasonable to put him in the building level tier. Like his attack potency, he has multiple feats that are calced to put his durability at around small building level, such as the feat in which he breaks through a massive wooden gate. And to add consistency, he was able to survive a near direct hit from a Mortel shell. Both of these feats have been calced to around small building level. I think it's pretty notable to mention that Kong walked away from both of these durability feats pretty much unscathed. For some extra feats of Kong's durability, he's able to no-sell bites from V-Rexes. Small firearms such as pistols couldn't slow him down at all, and it required multiple planes using heavy firearms to finally put Kong down. Moving on to the queen of Isla Nublar, none other than REXY herself. And I'm not gonna lie, REXY doesn't have the most impressive showings, especially compared to King Kong. Like sure, she beats up a couple raptors and beats up a Carntorn, but these are relatively casual feats that we would assess and equate to any dinosaur of her size, so they don't look that impressive. Not even mentioning that REXY just has a really bad habit of losing. Though, to be fair to REXY, the people that she lost to were some of the toughest dinosaurs in the entire verse. Nonetheless, this has formed a really nasty opinion that REXY is weaker than she actually is. And some people say that REXY can't even fight anything that's equal to her size due to these losses. So in order to get an overall gauge on the power level of REXY, we have to look into statements about her ranking in the verse and just upscale off of her, as we'll pretty much be looking at the feats and calcs for dinosaurs that are confirmed to be weaker than her. We can do this as there's an abundant amount of statements that say that REXY is the strongest dinosaur in the verse. Obviously, these statements don't take into account the Indominus or the Giganotosaurus, but everything else should be fair game. REXY is confirmed to be the strongest Rex and the strongest dinosaur alive during 2018, putting her above or at the very least relative to the legs of dinosaurs such as Buck from the Lost World, who has a feat where he's able to demolish a bus, and the Spinosaurus, who can very easily bust through a large fence in Jurassic Park 3. Both of these two dinosaurs have been calculated to have been putting out around large building amounts of energy, and using the multitude of REXY statements, she should scale to this output of energy. REXY scaling at least relative to these two individuals is nothing to scoff at, seeing how Buck is referred to as a master of his domain of Site B, and the Spinosaurus has a similar statement where it's confirmed that he would be able to solo the entire island if given the opportunity.
Replace T-Rex, and so we went after a dinosaur that literally could cause an extinction on the island.
This would seem to indicate that even large sauropods would be on the food chain. REXY being a casual sauropod killer is actually consistent, as during the immediate aftermath of Jurassic Park 1, REXY was left alone on the island in which she had free reins to hunt whatever she wanted. During this time span, there's a scan that confirms that she was hunting Brachiosauruses. This feat is more impressive once you consider that REXY is confirmed to have a serious case of ragged tooth during this time frame. And for some of you guys who don't know what ragged tooth means, I'm gonna show the scan on screen now and you can read what it does to a dinosaur. But to essentially put it in layman's terms, REXY was pretty much weakened and it would hurt for her to even attempt to eat anything. During this state, she was still able to hunt and kill large sauropods. REXY should also scale somewhat relative to the Indominus Rex, seeing as how REXY is even shown to overpower and kind of grab Indom by the neck during their first actual clash. The Indominus Rex has a feat in the film in which it's able to smash through an Avery. The dome is made out of fiberglass, which is a material that's even stronger than metal, and the Indominus is able to casually headbutt it, meaning that the casual Indominus Rex headbutt would be outputting around large building amounts of energy. This feat should scale to REXY as they're able to fight on par with each other, and REXY has a statement that says that she has the most powerful head of any other dinosaur, so theoretically she should be able to do the same thing. The Indom is another casual sauropod killer, so that's even more consistency. Overall, if I was to gauge REXY's AP, I would put it in the large building levels. This level of AP is fair enough in my opinion, seeing as how there's a lot of building level calcs as I've shown, and even much weaker dinosaurs than REXY have been calculated to have building level calcs in terms of attack potency, so REXY scaling a large building is fair enough. REXY, like Kong, would fall into the superhuman levels in terms of speed. For lower ends, she's stated to be able to run at around 32 miles per hour. But you could argue that she's a lot faster as she's able to keep up with a Jeep at full speed. Judging on the model of the Jeep in question, those Jeeps can drive up to 106 miles per hour, and REXY is somewhat on par with this level of speed. She's behind for sure, but she's not that far behind. And seeing how REXY is trying to catch prey, you could argue that her reaction and attack speed was scaled to this level. To add some consistency, REXY also scales to raptors in the Indominus Rex, who can tag each other, with the previously mentioned raptors being able to keep up with a motorcycle. Based on the model of motorcycle in the film, those type of motorcycles can drive up to 110 miles per hour. And REXY herself has another feat where she's able to evade a helicopter for a short period of time. So like Kong, she would fall into the superhuman to subsonic levels of speed. After extensively talking about both of our combatants, who do I think would win this fight? Well, to answer that question, I ask us to look at two scenes. Here we have King Kong, angered and irritated, taking out his anger on this bus. You know, he's pretty impressive. The bus is getting tossed around. It seems light to him, but the bus is intact. And here we have Buck, a dinosaur confirmed to be weaker than REXY, and let's see how he does against a single bus. Oh, he blew it up. Now let's look at King Kong's performance against these 1930s fighter planes. It does damage to him, and obviously it took a large amount of bullets to put him down. And for a comparison, let's look at the Indom, who is confirmed to be relative to REXY and was weakened by REXY during their fight. The Indom has a little feat of, I don't know, tanking an RPG. The force of the weapon does make her fall down, but she gets up rather easily and there's no visible blood or injury on her. And for all you guys who want to talk about the Visasaurus Rex fight and talk about how V-Rexes are evolved T-Rexes, I would agree to the sentiment that a V-Rex is stronger than a T-Rex. But once again, REXY is not a regular T-Rex. V-Rexes being evolved Rexes would just mean that they're stronger than the IRL version of T-Rexes or the Rexes that are in their verse. But to apply this logic to every single T-Rex in fiction would just be headcanon at worst and appeal to reality at best. When REXY is showing large building feats in the IRL version of the Tyrannosaurus Rex was wall level, she's clearly much stronger than a Tyrannosaurus Rex from our real life. And I don't want to hear any of you Kong fans saying I downplay Kong, because I gave you guys building level AP the benefit of the doubt using one statement. When all of the feats and calcs for his attack potency and durability put him into small building level in terms of attack potency. I didn't give REXY the same liberty, because if I gave her some of her higher ends, she'd be around C block level in terms of attack potency. I used one statement to get Kong to the highest I possibly could get him to. So if this was a matchup based on consistency, Kong would be around small building level and REXY would be around large building level, which I gave to her. A dinosaur in the Jurassic Park verse that has small building level AP metas is the Carnotaurus, which is actually fought in the T-Rex. And let's see how that went. REXY beat him multiple times, easily. The only notable advantage that Kong has is speed, but like I said in REXY's speed section, there are ways to get her to Kong's level of speed. And if Kong is faster, it wouldn't be by much. And using the Spinosaurus and Buck feats to upscale REXY would also be much stronger physically, so Kong wouldn't be able to get on top of REXY or overpower her and trap her or hold her down or nothing of the sorts. And if he tried that, he would get dispatched of easily. And if you Kong fans still want to downplay REXY, Kong fans, this your boy? And with that, I hope that I was able to help you guys understand who actually wins this matchup and why. Victory. And just like that, we're done with another video. I want to give a shout out to some of my Discord homies, particularly Zeno and Dread, who were kind enough to give me the calcs and metas for these guys. I also want to give a minor shout out to High Flyers, King of the Monsters, and Carnifex. These guys also helped the two previous guys, and Mario as well. And he sent an abundant amount of scans, and shout out to him as well. Dread really showed out for his video, but he didn't want to shout out. But he did ask me to shout out one guy, one of his friends, Chad. I've checked his channel out. It's a power scaling channel like mine, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the editing might be better than mine. So if you like my style of content, you want to see it better edited, then check his stuff out. Channels for the guys who have them will be in the description. And if you like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. If you disagree with me still, be sure to tell me why I'm wrong. And until next time, stay Big G fans.